The movie starts, and we see the story of a classic sniper, a man who can eliminate his target from kilometers away, even with a blindfold over his eyes. However, this sniper used to be just a simple mathematics teacher. He hated war and he hated guns. But one day, something happened in his life that turned him from a decent teacher into a ruthless sniper. The story begins in a small village in Ukraine, where we are shown a modest little house. A couple lives in this house, passing their life happily and peacefully. The man living in this house is named Mykola, and his wife's name is Nastia. Nastia was a drawing artist, and she used to carve wood to make many different kinds of beautiful statues. Mykola is a teacher, and he teaches math to children in a nearby school. He is a very good teacher, and all the children are quite happy with him, except for one boy whose name was Evan. Evan was a very rude and misbehaved boy. Every day in class, he would bother and harass his teacher, Mykola. Evan belonged to a rich family, while Mykola was a poor man. Because of this, Evan would often make fun of Mykola's looks and his clothes. He wanted Mykola to get fed up with his rudeness and raise a hand against him, so that he could complain and get Mykola fired from the school. But Mykola was a very calm person. Mykola did not care about his words, and he remained happy in his own life. Because there were no electronic items like a television in Mykola's house, he did not get news about the outside world. One day, when Mykola was at his school, he heard a report on the TV. It said that Russia had attacked Ukraine, many soldiers had been killed, and Russia had captured many places in Ukraine. In the evening, when Mykola came home, he found out that his wife was pregnant. Knowing this, he became very happy because now Mykola was going to become a father. Together, they celebrated this happiness. The next day, Mykola said goodbye to his wife and set off on his bicycle to teach the children at school. But when he was on the way, he saw two soldiers standing there, smoking cigarettes and wearing a strange uniform. That uniform did not look like a Ukrainian soldier's uniform at all, which seemed a bit odd to him. But Mykola thought that perhaps the government had changed the soldiers' uniforms. Therefore, Mykola did not pay much attention to it and quickly reached his school. However, when he came inside the school, he saw that the entire school was lying empty. Not a single child had come to school. Seeing this, he felt something was wrong. Just then, he saw the news on the TV, which stated that Russian soldiers had entered Ukraine to capture it. Now he realized that the soldiers he had seen on the road were actually Russians. Thinking this, he became very worried about his wife because she was alone at home. He immediately got on his bicycle and raced toward his house, but it was already too late. When Mykola reached home, he saw that those two soldiers were beating his wife badly. Mykola tried to save his wife, but the soldiers beat him up as well. Mykola requested them, begging, "Please do not kill my wife, she is pregnant." But the soldiers did not listen to a single word and kept beating both of them. After a while, a Russian soldier searched Mykola's house, and when he did not find anything of value inside, he got angry and set fire to Mykola's house. As they started to leave, Nastia, seeing her home burning, went red with anger. She picked up a stone and started hitting the Russian soldiers. Seeing this, a soldier fired his gun, and Nastia died on the spot. Seeing his wife dying, the ground slipped from beneath Mykola's feet. He went to his wife, took her in his lap, and began to weep bitterly. After a few hours passed like this, two Ukrainian soldiers came to Mykola. Seeing Mykola's wife dead, the two soldiers felt great regret. They put a hand on Mykola's shoulder and told him not to lose courage. After that, those two soldiers started digging a grave for Mykola's wife. Once the grave was dug, they told Mykola to bury his wife there. After his wife's death, Mykola was completely broken. Now he was left absolutely alone. Those Russian soldiers had not only killed his wife but also burned his unborn child in his home. Therefore, he was now burning in the fire of revenge. He had to kill that Russian soldier who had fired the bullet at his wife, no matter what. The only way to take revenge on that soldier was to join the Ukrainian soldiers. That is why he requested those two soldiers right there, "Please take me with you." I also want to join the Ukrainian army." The two soldiers agreed to Mykola's request. They put him in their vehicle and took him to the military base. Before leaving, Mykola kept a small statue made by his wife's hands with him, which she had made for his protection. When these people reached the military base, their senior officer saw Mykola and started getting angry at the two soldiers. He refused to recruit Mykola into the army because the senior began to suspect that Mykola might be a spy. When the senior gathered information about Mykola from the two soldiers, Mykola also told him the whole story. He explained how the Russian soldiers had brutally killed his wife and burned his house. He said, "Now I have no reason to live," and he assured the senior that he wanted to kill that Russian soldier and free this country. Hearing this, the senior agreed to recruit Mykola into the Ukrainian army, and his training began the very next day. Now, because Mykola was a common man, he was facing a lot of difficulty during training. He had taught the subject of math his whole life, and he had no knowledge about guns. When all the soldiers were assembling guns, Mykola was quite slow compared to them, and he was the last one to assemble the gun. Seeing this, the officer felt that Mykola would never be able to become a good soldier. But Mykola did not give up, and he kept his focus on his training. One night during training, Mykola said to his senior that he should not call him by his name because his code name is Raven. Hearing this, everyone started laughing at him. The senior told him that a code name is not obtained so easily. For that, a soldier has to do some great deed for the country. Mykola did not take these words negatively, and he started working even harder. At night, when all the soldiers were sleeping, Mykola would still practice learning things. One day, the senior told all the soldiers, "We have a shortage of snipers, and we must increase this number so we can fight the Russians." Here, the senior asked everyone, "How many of you want to become a sniper?" Hearing this, some people stood up, and among those people was Mykola because he also wanted to become a sniper. Seeing Mykola, all the soldiers started laughing. The senior looked at Mykola and said, "You are not ready to become a sniper yet. You cannot even assemble and disassemble a gun properly, so becoming a sniper is a far-fetched dream." To this, Mykola replied, "I can become a good sniper. I just need one chance to prove myself." Hearing this, the senior said to Mykola, "Okay, take this. You have to assemble this gun within just 20 seconds. Now, to prove himself, Mykola tied a blindfold over his eyes. He quickly opened the gun and put it back together again. It took him only 18 seconds to do this job. Seeing Mykola's speed, everyone was left amazed. The people who were laughing at him before were now clapping for Mykola. The senior was also impressed by Mykola, and seeing his capability, he included him in the sniper training. During training, Mykola was handed an old model gun, while the rest were given new modern weapons. Seeing this, Mykola also demanded a modern weapon. The senior there told him, "If you want that gun, you have to prove yourself." Now Mykola had no other option, so he took what he got and left. During training, the senior told everyone that no matter what situation comes in front of a sniper, he does not move even 1 inch from his spot and keeps his aim on his target. To practice this, the senior fired bullets near everyone. Any sniper who moved from his position was thrown out of the training. But when Mykola's turn came, he did not move from his place at all and kept his aim steady. In this way, Mykola passed this training. In the next training, the snipers were shown their target only once, and then their eyes were covered with a blackboard. During this, they had to estimate and shoot their target. Among the other soldiers, some passed this test. But when Mykola's turn came, his aim missed slightly, and Mykola failed this test because the gun he had was very old, and it was very difficult to hit a perfect target with it. But everyone knew that if Mykola had been given a new gun, he would have hit the target perfectly. The next training was even more difficult for those snipers because they had to shoot their target in the light of a flare, and that too in the darkness of the night. Here, the senior fired a flare, and everyone took their aim, but no one could hit the target. Everyone else had fired their bullets. Now, only Mykola had not fired. He understood that it is not possible to aim directly in the light of a flare. Therefore, when the senior released the flare, instead of shooting immediately, Mykola estimated the distance of his target in the flare's light. He used his math knowledge to calculate and fired a perfect shot. Seeing this, his senior and the other soldiers were shocked. No one had ever completed this task until today, only Mykola had done it. The senior was very impressed with Mykola and gave him his desired code name, Raven. Days passed like this, and Mykola put his heart and soul into his training. Finally, the day came when the result of their training was announced. Here, the colonel saluted Mykola and told him that he had passed this test. A few days later, the colonel came to Mykola and told him to pack his bags because they had to go on a mission. News had come that some Russian soldiers had captured a Czech post. From here, the real story begins. Soon, Mykola's team reached the location and sat down, taking their aim. Just as they were about to kill those Russian soldiers, they saw a car in the distance moving toward the Czech post. Because of this, the colonel told everyone not to shoot. On the other side, the Russian soldiers stopped the car and asked the people inside to come out. They checked their passports and searched the entire car. When everything was fine, the soldiers gave them permission to leave, but they kept their passports. When those people asked for their passports back, the soldiers beat them severely. Seeing all this, the colonel gave the order to his soldiers to fire. In a single moment, all the snipers eliminated their respective targets. In this way, their first mission was completed. After the mission, when everyone returned to the base, Mykola noticed that many of his companions were not present at the base. He was worried and wondered where everyone had gone. When he asked, "Where are the rest of my companions?" he was told that his other companions had been sent on another mission. The next day, Mykola got the news that on the mission his companions went to, many of them had been killed. All those people were killed by a single Russian sniper. That sniper's name was Siri, and he was Russia's best sniper. Just like this, a few days passed, and Mykola set out on his next mission with his companions. Reaching the location, they laid mines all around and sat in their positions. After a while, Russian soldiers reached there, and Evan was also with those soldiers. Evan was the same boy who used to bother Mykola in school, and now he had joined the Russian army. As soon as the colonel gave the order to shoot, Mykola got a little nervous because he did not want to kill his student. But then, putting his emotions aside, Mykola shot the landmines placed there. A loud explosion occurred, killing all the Russian soldiers, including Evan. After everything was under control, the colonel angrily asked Mykola, "When I gave the order to shoot, what were you thinking?" To which Mykola replied, "There was a student of mine among those Russian soldiers. I did not want to kill him." Here, the colonel explained to Mykola that he should not feel any sorrow over Evan's death because here, he was not your student but your enemy. Joining the Russian army was Evan's own decision, so you do not need to feel bad for him. Having completed the mission, they all returned to their base camp. The colonel had full faith in Mykola. He used to spend most of his time with Mykola. Here, the colonel showed Mykola his family photo and told him that there are 3 people in his family. His 2 daughters are unaware that their father is a soldier. "I have told them that I do business, and my wife has also never told the children about me being a soldier." Here, Mykola also told the colonel his entire story about how ruthlessly the Russian soldiers had killed his wife. During this, Mykola became quite emotional, but the colonel comforted him. The next morning, they all set out on their next mission. This mission was very important because they had received news that a group of Russian soldiers was going to pass through that route. The colonel and Mykola quickly reached the location and took their positions. After a while, they saw 2 Russian soldiers who were waiting for the rest of their team. Here, Mykola noticed that one of the soldiers was the one who had shot his wife. He was right in Mykola's target. Mykola asked for permission to shoot, but the colonel refused to let him do so. Now Mykola was turning red with anger because the soldier standing in front had killed his wife, and he had joined the army just so he could take revenge for his wife. Therefore, he asked for permission to fire again, but once more, the colonel forbade him. However, Mykola could no longer control his emotions and he fired the shot. The bullet hit the soldier and he died immediately. But the bad thing was that the Russian soldiers found out their location. The colonel said to Mykola, "What have you done?" But the worst part was that Russia's most dangerous sniper named Siri was also sitting in his position, and now he also knew their location. The colonel knew that Siri was nearby, so he started looking for Siri. But before he could find his location, Siri gave him a headshot and the colonel died on the spot. Now Mykola understood what a big mistake he had made. Because of his mistake, the colonel lost his life. Mykola realized that the Russians knew their location. On the other side, the Russian soldiers also started heavy firing and bombing on Mykola. Seeing the situation worsening, Mykola decided to retreat. He picked up the colonel's body and started moving back from his position. Soon he got out of the enemy territory and reached straight to his base. Mykola regretted the colonel's death greatly and was holding himself responsible for it. Here, he swore that he would kill Siri and take revenge for the colonel's death. Soon, Mykola got news of 2 Russian snipers, and he immediately set out on his next mission. He reached his location and sat aiming his target. Soon, he shot down the sniper. But while killing that sniper, another sniper shot Mykola in the arm. However, he did not give up and somehow managed to shoot down that second sniper as well. Now, because he was quite injured, he went to a secret base and began to give his body some rest. During this, he received a call from the army major who told Mykola, "We have found the sniper who killed the colonel." After that, Mykola reached his base, and here the major started telling everyone about the sniper. The major explained that the sniper's name is Siri, and he is Russia's best sniper. His aim has never been wrong until today. Siri has killed 6 of Ukraine's most capable snipers. Therefore, we should not take him lightly. The major explained that Siri first kills Ukrainian soldiers and then makes a video of it to upload on social media so that Ukrainian soldiers lose hope. He said that Siri is a sniper who usually does not change his position and sits at a specific location to hunt his enemies. Now all these people made a plan. They would go to Siri's location in 2 teams. According to the plan, their first team would attack the Russian soldiers from the front, and when they were busy with this attack, their second team would attack them from behind. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Mykola would go inside the building and kill Siri. After the entire planning was done, they all set out toward that location. Upon reaching the location, all the snipers took their positions and sat ready with their aim. On the other side, Mykola also secretly entered the building, where he saw 2 Russian soldiers who were busy talking. Without delay, Mykola killed both of them and moved forward in the building. After this, according to the plan, he gave the signal to his team. As soon as the signal was received, the snipers sitting there killed all the soldiers. On the other side, Siri noticed that none of his companions were reporting to him. He felt something was wrong. Therefore, he went to the roof of the building, where a Russian sniper was already present. But when he went up and looked at the sniper, that sniper was already dead. Seeing this, nervousness started growing in his heart, and now Siri realized that Ukrainian soldiers had surrounded him from all sides. He contacted his base for backup, but it was going to take another 10 minutes for the backup team to reach him. Hearing this, he quickly came to his position and started looking for the Ukrainian soldiers. But just then, he saw a small statue kept on the table in front of him. This was actually placed there by Mykola after Siri had gone out. It was the one his wife had given him. Before Siri could think anything, Mykola attacked him and stabbed him repeatedly with a knife, taking his life. However, due to this scuffle, another sniper present in the building became a little alert. But before he could do anything, Mykola threw a grenade near him. In that explosion, this last sniper was also killed. After a while, the backup team called by Siri also reached the building. but they were unaware that Siri was now dead. That is why when they called Siri, Mykola picked up the call on the other end and told them that they were all going to die. Saying just this, he shot the truck driver. Now, as the shot was fired, panic spread among the Russian soldiers, and they all jumped out of the truck. But they were unaware that Ukrainian snipers were sitting in ambush for them. Here, the Ukrainian soldiers started heavy shooting and killed every single Russian, one by one. A few days after this mission, Mykola went to his wife's grave because the promise he had made to her was now fulfilled. He had killed all those people who had killed his wife and the colonel. Here, Mykola swore that he would continue to serve his country until his last breath. Saying this, he left from there, and with this, the movie ends. If you liked the video, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the video.